What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, Cover Killer Nation? As you can tell, the voice is back in full force, which means it's time to get back into some album reviews. 2011 album reviews. Now, I was sitting sick as a dog, unable to speak, thinking about which album I was going to come back with. You know, the album that I was going to sound great for. Very first album that came to mind was Lady Gaga's Born This Way, which was released this past Tuesday. And then last night, I decided to get a burger. This burger, in fact, is a chicken sandwich. It's cold right now because, well, I got two by mistake. And it made me think of a completely different album. It made me think of Deconstruction by Devin Townsend, which is one of two albums, the other being entitled Ghost, that's going to be released in late June here in 2011. Now, Deconstruction has become available. However, this is an album that's certainly worth your purchase. In fact, I have already pre-ordered this album along with Ghost. I'm exceptionally excited, or should I say exceedingly excited for both of these records, especially after hearing Deconstruction. Now, you might be wondering what the hell the sandwich has to do with any of this, and why it made me think of this record. Well, it's because this album, this sporadic, ridiculous affair of genius, is centered around a man. It's a concept album. It's centered around a man who goes to hell and meets the devil. And the devil makes him, or should I say gives him an offer. He offers him all of the wisdom, the wonders of the universe, everything that his heart could desire, everything that he wonders. And all he has to do is eat a cheeseburger. He offers it in the form of a cheeseburger, a double in fact. But the man does not eat meat. He's a vegetarian, which renders his journey completely and utterly useless. I am not making this up. Seriously. For all the ridiculous stunts that I've pulled in my day, this isn't one of them. I couldn't come up with something this insane. I came up with a cactus with sunglasses, but come on. Other people have done things like that, haven't they? I hope. But at any rate, let's get to the music. This is a 9-track affair. It pushes the 70-minute window because there's two mammoth tracks. One that's 11 minutes long, actually 10:59, but who's counting? And the second one, a mammoth 16.5-minute long track, which is aptly entitled The Mighty Masturbator. Again, not making this up. This album has it all. For those of you who like his ambient works, we have ambience. For those of you who like the chaos of Strapping Young Lad, we have that. For those of you who enjoyed the randomness of the mind of Devin Townsend that you've heard in his solo work, with albums such as Ziltoid the Omniscient, with albums such as Accelerated Evolution, you have that as well. It's almost like fusing the three together and seeing a charted course of an uncharted story. 3 bands in the making, multiple singers in the making, 2 drummers in the making, 1 demented mad scientist of a genius in the making in the form of Devin Townsend. 70 minutes, 40 seconds long. A 16.5-minute long track. And I also mentioned that there's guest vocalists. Well, like who? Are you ready for this? How about Thomas Giles from Between the Buried and Me? How about Mikkel Ackerfeet from Opeth? How about the vocalist from After Forever? How about the vocalist from the Dillinger Escape Plan? What about a special appearance from Gwar? Just to name a few. I'm not even going all the way into this. I'm not diving all the way into this because I want to leave a couple of surprises for you guys. I want you to be able to listen to this record with a fresh take and be like, what? What? Hold the phone and you'll be surprised. You'll be shocked. You'll love it. You will love this record because it does have every haunting element that you would find, hauntingly should I say, it has an element from each and every band. For example, track number 1, Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, you get it. Is more of an ambient work at the start, which reminds you a little bit more of the stuff that he did with DevLab or something like that, and then it rages into something that's more traditional for Devin Townsend. Goes right into Stand, easily one of my favorite tracks because that's the track in which Mikkel Ackerfeet from Opeth is on. He supplies this, the death growls that you hear near the middle and the latter parts of the track. It's a very, very good song. It builds. There's a lot of building on this, and that's something that we all know that Devin is known to do, and it's something that makes its presence felt on some tracks here, but not necessarily on all. There are some tracks that are shorter than the 10 or 16-minute long epics that actually just go straight forward right into it, such as track number 3, right after Stand. You have to really bridge the gap a little bit, especially whenever you're trying to tell a conceptual story. It can't all be filled with these long, lengthy affairs. It would be almost, it's almost like if you had everyone be a long, lengthy affair, it would be like episodes of a television series, and there would be some that would be hit and others that would be missed. It would all advance the plot, but it all wouldn't be good. But by telling a good story, it has to be a little bit like a movie, where you have the sequences that are really integral to the story be kind of the center point, and then the character development also a center point. But then all the little things, the kind of trivial aspects where they're just sitting to kind of like establish a setting, either that or just establish a time period or something like that, it's just thrown in there only in sporadic little junctions, almost like throwing paint on a wall. The main spatter of paint, right where it hit dead center, is going to be your lengthy tracks, your 16, your 10-minute long tracks that really tell the basis, the bulk of the story. And then those little spatter points at the end, those are the things that just kind of link everything together. Deconstruction, the song itself, which is track number 8, is where everything really becomes exposed, because for the first 7 tracks, you really have to examine everything in order to really tell the story that I just told to you. Deconstruction, the title track, does all of this. It features Gwar, it's ridiculous, there's fart noises, there's references to beer, there's ridiculous choirs. There's so many different things on this 9-minute track. You would think that the 16-minute long track would kind of be the big, I guess, reveal. But it's not. Instead, this is an exploit between himself and the lead singer from the Dillinger Escape Plan, where they kind of rival back and forth, and it just goes on these multiple avenues, almost a carnival-esque atmosphere at some particular points. Really just a very, very unique album overall. The best thing that I could really say about this record, for those of you who like Strapping Young Lad, is the song Poltergeist. The very last track of the record is exceptional. Planet of the Apes, though, with Tommy from Between the Buried and Me, probably another one of my favorite tracks. Because this has a way, they have a way in which they constructed this track very, very well. They were able to let Tommy really, really synchronize up his just soft vocals, his very harmonic vocals, perfectly with Devin's music. This is a work of genius. This album itself could be considered a work of genius. This could potentially be one of Devin's most inspiring creations. If you like the first 2 records, Key and Addicted, from the Devin Townsend Project lineup, then you're going to love Deconstructed. Deconstructed is going to take what those 2 albums did to you and throw it on a whole new level, on a whole new map. It takes the storytelling aspect, adds in the random, disguises it with fantastic music, wraps it up, and gives it to you. This is one that's going to really please all of Devin's various fans from any various project that he's been a part of, including his works as a producer, considering he painstakingly produced this album as well. And whenever you consider all the layers that you're going to hear, whenever you consider all the people he had to talk to, all the arrangements he had to make in order to make this album possible, it just gives you a whole different layer of respect for this man. It's almost like he took an Arjun Anthony Lukinson role on this particular album by inviting in all these multiple instrumentalists, these multiple vocalists and everything in order to construct this wicked beast. He decided to take a page out of that book, and damn, he will exceed expectations to those who perhaps looked at this whenever it was in its inception and thought to yourself, this could be good, but we'll see. We'll see is done, folks. This is a good affair. One of the best I've heard so far this year that really surprised me. 8.75 out of 10. Cover Killer Nation saying, I kind of want a cheeseburger now. I just have a feeling that if I eat a cheeseburger, I might learn the secret of life. Or just really have to take a nice big wicked shit.